Welcome to Thesis Help Center, brought to you by the Sustainability Consortium. Today, we're going to break down a thesis key performance indicator, or simply KPI. Thesis KPIs provide a definitive way to identify social and environmental risks, unlock opportunities, and showcase sustainability performance results of consumer goods. You are currently viewing a supply chain diagram for apparel and home textiles. This simplified diagram maps each KPI to its relevant supply chain stage. Researchers and members of the Sustainability Consortium, or TSC, design thesis KPIs for consumer goods companies to assess their performance on hotspots. Thesis hotspots are the most significant environmental and social issues across a product category's supply chain. In this category example, you can see that hotspots occur at many stages throughout the supply chain. And sometimes the same hotspots can occur at multiple stages, like the release of air pollution at synthetic material production, yarn production, and textile production. If you're following along the numbers, you can see that that's number 4, air quality, and you can see how that's mapped to each supply chain stage. A thesis KPI consists of several components. When you're in your thesis assessment on supply shift, you'll find all the components necessary to successfully assess your sustainability performance on the related hotspots. The blue vertical menu bar will display each KPI title. You will also find the KPI title at the top of the page when you click or select a KPI. The KPI title contains information about both the impact and activity that is intended to be addressed by the KPI. As you can see here, we're clearly going to ask a question about wastewater generation in the supply chain. After each question, you can click the guidance to access unique and detailed calculation and scope instructions for that particular KPI. Any reference included in the Certifications, Standards, and Tools section of the guidance will provide you with ready-to-use resources that can assist in your KPI calculations. The background information provides supplementary resources to learn about the hotspots being addressed. And any KPI terms that may need clarification will be included in the definitions section of the guidance. Generally, you will find around 4 types of KPIs. There are qualitative, single percentages, multiple percentages, and performance metrics. Let's first look at a qualitative KPI. Here on your screen is an example of a qualitative KPI. It is important that you meet the full criteria of your selected response option when completing a qualitative KPI. What I mean is that you can see here we have response option C selected, and that begins with the phrase in addition to. That means that in order to select, in this example C, you also have to meet everything outlined in response option B, and since response option B includes in addition to A, you also have to meet A in this example. So it's very important to pay attention to each response option's text. A single percentage KPI is pretty straightforward. Usually this type of KPI is designed to measure the percent of supply covered by a certain activity. There are also multiple percentages, as you can see here in this example. Sometimes these are mutually exclusive, the response options. Sometimes they are not. Here, you can see that 100 plus 45 plus 20 exceeds 100%. Therefore, this is not a mutually exclusive example. If it were, and you accidentally put in more than a sum of 100%, you would receive an error notification. So just pay attention to those notifications, and you won't actually be able to exceed 100% if it is a mutually exclusive response option. There are also performance metrics, and I'm going to jump down to the greenhouse gas emissions at manufacturing for an example. These are designed to capture incremental progress. In other words, these are not all or nothing in terms of data collection. You only have data for a portion of your supply, Then you can report the known performance metric and indicate the percent of supply that is represented. So in this example, let's say you have information on 3/4 of your supply, 75%. That's fine. And then you want to be sure to report whatever the intensity metric is, and we'll know that that only covers a portion of your supply, and you'll be scored accordingly. Now, there will always be a we are unable to determine at this time. And that does result in a score of 0, but we have embedded an action recommendation. We want to ensure that you're only selecting this if you truly do not have the systems in place to collect the data and respond accurately to this KPI. So what we do is we prompt you to understand who in your company or in your supply chain may have access to this information. There will also be in some cases a not applicable as the response option A, and that will include a qualifier text. If you meet the qualifying text and can select not applicable, it will not negatively or positively affect your score, your overall score. All right, so these are the main components of a thesis KPI. And maybe you would like to access these and work with them offline. That's fine, you can do that. Simply navigate back to your cover page and you can click KPI document in PDF or Excel to work with them as you wish. All right. I want to thank you for taking the time to learn more about thesis and how to create more sustainable consumer goods. If you still have questions, please visit sustainabilityconsortium.org so you can navigate to our FAQs. We are always happy to help. Thank you.